That's Sean Combs' birthday. It's also the day that Mia testified she was first sexually assaulted by Sean Combs. She said it happened at the Plaza Hotel here in New York City when they were in the penthouse. She said Combs pulled her alone into the kitchen, put his hand up her dress, and forcibly kissed her when she did not want him to.
People reported that the Playboy Mansion was rumored to have a series of underground tunnels that connected the mansion to other homes in the area. However, one staff member told the site that the tunnels were closed up in sometime in 1989.
The officers found strange items on the floor, such as children's clothing.
Uncovered tunnels underneath his house.
Diddy's?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Day 12 of testimony in Diddy's explosive trial has ended, and the courtroom was left in breathless silence. What emerged today stunned even the most seasoned observers. Shocking accounts of sexual rituals and disturbing acts, reportedly, took place deep within Diddy's luxurious estates under the cover of night. Homeland investigators revealed the existence of secret underground tunnels, allegedly linking Diddy's properties to other high-profile celebrity homes. One name dominated hushed conversations: victim number 4. Why is she so terrified of Diddy? And why has her identity become such a closely guarded secret? Even more chilling, comedian Katt Williams appeared to have foreseen all of this nearly a year ago. Whispers grow louder, echoing the same phrase: tunnels beneath Diddy's mansions. And according to the FBI, one such tunnel has already been found.
The FBI discovered a tunnel this morning that the rapper had made in his home, connected to the basement of a former Michael Jackson home.
There is an underground mansion.
The officers found strange items on the floor, such as children's clothing.
Absolutely terrifying to know that this exists.
Uncovered tunnels underneath his house.
Diddy's?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yes.
Here's the swimming pool. So obviously right now you can't make out how big this place actually is. Stick around to the end of this video. We're gonna watch sunrise. Check out the exterior. Here, let's see the inside of the place. Okay, I'm walking inside. In the backyard, I stumble upon a dark set of stairs leading down under the house, right into the basement. Smells like buildings here in the basement. It's not a good sign. The air is getting cooler as I walk through the building door, swallowed by the darkness. A faint hum of a machine immediately catches my ear. Perhaps the HVAC system left on to fend off the mold creeping through the lower levels. Yeah, you don't know about this.
Guys, they found underground tunnels at Diddy's homes. This was first brought up by Shadow of Ezra, where he talked about the underground tunnels in Diddy's luxurious Los Angeles mansion. It was an underwater swimming tunnel leading to a mysterious grotto reminiscent of an ancient and modern human use of caves. This is all alleged, of course. They say that this tunnel connects to the Playboy Mansion. You guys remember that? Hugh Hefner, the guy who lived with all those women in his mansion? There's no available evidence right now. However, reports are noting that Combs' mansions do have a pool with an underwater swimming tunnel. They say it's not connected to the Playboy Mansion, but there is a reason why the Playboy Mansion is coming up. 10 years ago, they were building underground tunnels to the Playboy Mansion for people like Jack Nicholson for his birthday. So this way, they don't have to go through the outside or go underground in secret to the Playboy Mansion to do God knows what. You can see the sketches here of these underground tunnels being built. They were working on it, and it was supposed to connect celebrities like Jack Nicholson, Warren Beatty, Michael Jackson, just to name a few. As reported by People magazine, these underground tunnels, Playboy Mansion, were sealed off in the 1980s.
Back on January 3rd, 8 months before Diddy's arrest, Katt Williams sat across from Shannon Sharpe in an interview that would ignite the internet, now viewed nearly 89 million times. Calmly and deliberately, Katt dropped names and alleged Hollywood's darkest secrets, calling out the manipulation and exploitation of minors by the industry's elite. Among the names mentioned, Diddy. Months later, federal authorities launched a formal investigation. For years, Katt navigated Hollywood's elite circles in silence. But now he's pulling back the curtain and sharing what he claims to have witnessed firsthand. His warning, once dismissed as conspiracy, now reads like a prophecy.
Affleck actually recently walked away from J-Lo because these allegations were coming out.
And isn't there even some concern that, or proof that Pastor T.D. Jakes?
Well, I'm getting right there. So there's this big list that Diddy said, I'm not going down alone. because Katt Williams went on a podcast a while back, and Katt Williams, who's a well-known comedian in the black community for a long time, he went on a podcast and basically just regurgitated all this information that was just so valid. And he said, all these people, he said, you got God on one side, and then you got the other side. And he said, the other side, they're all going down in 2024. And he mentioned that he was offered $50 million 4 separate times to join in with these Diddy parties to basically be sodomized. He turned it down every time.
To help his career.
To help his career, to bring his career to the next level.
Motherfuckers be gay in Hollywood, you never expected. They be having these big ass mansion parties, and the mansion party, the whole mansion is a party, and then it's a separate party in the little rooms. I ain't been famous that goddamn long. I'm excited that I'm gonna be at the mansion party. You be looking at all the goddamn rooms, and you around and look in the wrong room and Nick, come here. Come here. Is that too kissing? All of these big deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way. Because in 30 years, I've done nothing but collect information, knowledge, and your secrets. So if you and a man was in a corner doing something you wasn't supposed to be doing, no, somebody come to tell me.
Okay.
I gather that, I value that, I'll pay for that. Come, tell me. I know so many things I shouldn't know, and they all know it.
Watch as Katt Williams calls out Bishop T.D. Jakes, and watch as T.D. Jakes and Gino Jennings responds.
I came in this business saying I was going to expose. When I talked about Michael Jackson, when I talked about R. Kelly, they canceled me for these things because why would you talk about another black dude? Race is not where the line is drawn. It's God's side and the other side. And we don't care nothing about the other side. Period. All of these big deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
Good, I'm good. I'm fine. I'm good because I know the truth.
TG Jakes, do not. You can get.
Agents raided Diddy's mansions in March 2024, but despite the mountain of accusations, he wasn't arrested until nearly 6 months later. Why the delay? Leaked documents suggest investigators suspect Diddy used hidden tunnels beneath his Miami estate to evade capture. These tunnels were allegedly connected to the infamous Playboy Mansion, long believed to be sealed off. Yet again, investigators came up empty-handed. The tunnels appeared scrubbed clean. No evidence, no trace. And yet, time and again, wherever Diddy's name surfaces, so does the disappearance of evidence. But as you'll soon see, that pattern isn't just coincidence, it's a signature.
Interesting how the media and everyone is trying to say, no, there's no connection. Well, have you guys even figured out if there's a connection yet? I feel like authorities are so stuck in time in the past where, they say, oh, don't look into this, don't investigate this, these claims aren't real. But then we see social media sleuths put together these stories and solve investigations. I'm not saying the authorities aren't smart people, they can figure it out. But sometimes the help from the public can lead to, us actually figuring out the truth. But do the authorities want the truth? It really matters who's at the top and who they're trying to protect. Another conspiracy theory that circulated at the time of the raids was that Diddy escaped through an underground tunnel. I do believe he has an escape route planned when it comes to his Miami property because he can easily access the Bahamas through a boat. When it comes to his LA property, he might have a backup plan, which kind of explains these tunnels.
In case you're wondering where Diddy hosted these parties, specifically the parties that took place underground, I was absolutely shocked to find out there was an underground mansion with tennis courts, indoor pools, marble everything, a literal ballroom. And this checks out because Ali Carter was talking about this underground ballroom. Actually, imagine being 5 floors beneath the surface willing to bet there's no cell service. What are you going to do? Scream? Run? Where are you going to go? Absolutely terrifying to know that this exists. I just want to play tennis in my underground mansion. I have no words. It's crazy.
I can't imagine this being real because it seems so dystopian. Per news reports in March 2024, Diddy's properties in LA and in Miami were raided by Homeland Security. Diddy's LA mansion was located in the upscale neighborhood of Holby Hills, the same neighborhood as the Playboy Mansion. However, there is no known underground tunnel connecting the two. According to this report, people reported that the Playboy Mansion was rumored to have a series of underground tunnels that connected the mansion to other homes in the area. However, one staff member told the site that the tunnels were closed up in sometime in 1989. And I don't know why celebrities are so scared to acknowledge these tunnels. I feel like, oh yeah, there's underground tunnels.
Online investigators and courtroom insiders believe Diddy's years of evading consequences aren't just luck. They suggest someone powerful is protecting him from the shadows. Just yesterday, a disturbing video emerged, reportedly revealing the identity of witness number 4. She claimed she worked closely with Diddy for years and feared for her life if she testified. The court had promised her identity would be sealed. Yet within 24 hours, her name and image were leaked. Was this a calculated move by Diddy's team, or another chilling example of how deep this cover-up really goes?
Interesting update from court. Sean Combs' counsel, Alexandra Shapiro, says some people on the internet think they figured out who Mia is. We got this video, again, that might be used to impeach her credibility. We got this video also from random people on the internet. We don't think this was ever posted on her social media. It was on some random website. Should we show it to you? I gotta ask you, I have to move on to this question, Serena. This is quite alarming. How is this possible?
I have no idea how it's possible, and I'm sure Mia is probably, panicking in this moment in time. Like, are people stalking her on the internet, trying to figure out her identity? She testified that she was a victim, essentially. There's shield laws that exist to try to protect people in her position. And so this is really getting very nerve-wracking probably for her and just absurd for the courtroom.
Someone revealed her identity. Is that a crime, Tyler?
No, it's not a crime if somebody revealed her identity, especially if they're not a part of this case. The reason they have these confidentiality orders and protective orders for the parties involved to do their best to protect a Jane Doe or anybody proceeding under the pseudonym's identity. It is possible for the public to learn their identity, but really the who are part of the case who are agreeing to protect her confidentiality. Once she got on that stand, it's very possible that somebody knew her identity. What I find more troubling and less likely is that this video is being sent by random people on the internet. And that's what they want to proffer as evidence in this criminal trial. I find that hard to be admitted. They can track the video from one person who can confirm the identity of the person. Then it can be used for impeachment evidence. That's different. But random people on the internet sending videos, that opens the door to a can of worms.
There's drama playing out behind the scenes at Sean Diddy Combs' sex trial. 2 women prosecutors wanted to call as witnesses are so terrified of retribution from Combs. One went into hiding. The other did take the stand, but the judge went to great lengths to protect her identity. Les Prince is at the courthouse.
The sons of Sean P. Diddy Combs arrive in court on a day of dramatic testimony from a witness known as victim number 4. This is what we know about victim number 4. She's Diddy's former assistant, and in court, she will be known only by the name Mia. Mia is not her real name. She agreed to testify only if extraordinary measures were taken to hide her identity. Reporters were ordered not to describe her, and get this, even the courtroom sketch artist was ordered not to draw her. Her attorney says she did not want to testify and had hoped that she could take what happened to her grave.
It's highly unusual. You normally see things like this in gang cases, MS-13, the Bloods, the Crips, Mafia cases.
In court today, she told jurors her time as Diddy's assistant was toxic. He's thrown things at me. He's thrown me against the wall. He's thrown me into a pool. He's thrown an ice bucket on my head. He also sexually assaulted me.
Sometimes her voice trails away. It's as though she is in fear still. She testified that she was in fear when she worked for Sean Combs. It almost seems like she's still a bit fearful.
This wouldn't be the first time evidence tied to Diddy has disappeared under mysterious circumstances. In the Kid Cudi arson case, investigators recovered fingerprints from the charred remains of Cudi's car, just days after Diddy allegedly threatened him. Those prints were submitted to the lab, and then they were destroyed. An accident, officials claimed. But how many accidents does it take before it becomes a pattern? Every destroyed file, every missing name, every vanished witness is part of a puzzle. And that puzzle is starting to reveal something much darker.
Court has adjourned today in the sex and racketeering trial of Sean Diddy Combs. Today, the defense requested a mistrial following testimony from an LA arson investigator, but the judge denied the request. ABC's Rena Roy has the latest.
A mistrial request denied in the federal criminal trial of Sean Diddy Combs. His defense team accusing the government of prosecutorial misconduct during the testimony of a Los Angeles arson investigator who spoke about fingerprints that were lifted from the front door of rapper Kid Cudi's home as part of an investigation into a break-in there in 2011. The investigator testifying that those fingerprints were destroyed, and when prosecutors asked the investigator if that was unusual, the defense accused them of trying to plant the idea that Combs was responsible.
The overall implication, according to the defense, is that somehow Sean Combs created that disappearance. The defense moved for a mistrial, and they moved for it because what they said is that it's unduly prejudiced, because this is the whole theory of what the prosecution is putting forth, is that he has this control and can make these investigations disappear.
Instead, the judge striking that part of the testimony, telling jurors to disregard it. Right before, the jury heard from a police officer who responded to that break-in, testifying that he saw a black Escalade leaving the scene with plates registered to Combs' company Bad Boy Productions. The arson investigator also testifying about another incident at Kid Cudi's home in 2012 when his Porsche was set on fire. He testified about the smoke and fire damage in these photos that were shown to the jury, and said he determined the fire was targeted and started with a Molotov cocktail. Kid Cudi last week testified he believed Combs was responsible for both incidents after finding out he was dating Cassie Ventura.
Adding to the growing list of unanswered questions is the sudden disappearance of witness. 3, she had been scheduled to testify against Diddy and had even agreed to go public. But just days before the trial began, she vanished, without a trace. She'd been outspoken, determined, unafraid. So what changed? Was she silenced? Was she threatened? No one knows. And the silence around her disappearance is now louder than ever.
Sean Combs, over the years, has made people disappear.
Right. Well, Pierce, let me ask you a question. From your journalistic perspective, have you ever noticed how in this industry, people untimely meet their demise? So when somebody else seems like they're having a problem? Have you ever seen that before?
Well, there was, of course, the case of one of his other ex-girlfriends, Kim Porter, who died of pneumonia at a very young age. You just referenced your own situation with pneumonia that you believe was deliberate poisoning. Do you believe that may be what happened to her?
Why are so many people coming down with pneumonia? Why is that happening to everybody? What is that about? Where have you ever seen this many cases of pneumonia associated with one situation? Or,
there were rumors.
I'm not saying.
Well, I was going to mention on this that there have been rumors circulating online that Diddy may have poisoned Jamie Foxx, which caused his 2023 hospitalization. In his Netflix show, he compared Combs to the devil in revealing his near-death experience after a brain bleed and stroke. So I say this all the time, I saw the tunnel, I didn't see the light. It was hot in that tunnel. I thought I'd gone to the wrong place. I looked at the end of the tunnel and I thought I saw the devil saying, "Come on," or was that puppet?
So why now? Why is Diddy, who for decades seemed untouchable, suddenly facing the full weight of the system? Sources suggest it isn't just about the victims. It's because Diddy turned on the very power players who once shielded him. He defied the unspoken rules of the elite, and now they're taking him down. Not because of morality, but because he broke rank. And when you betray the hand that feeds you in Hollywood, you don't just lose protection, you become the sacrifice.
He sues Diageo. Diddy filed a lawsuit accusing Diageo of neglecting the De Leon brand, racial discrimination, claiming they marketed it as an urban product and failed to treat him as a true business partner. Then in January 2024, they settled. out of court. Diageo and Diego settled the dispute out of court. While details still remain sealed, the settlement marked the end of their business relationship. So this is from 2007 to 2024. 17 years. If they have protected him, I don't know. Their CEO currently today is Deborah Ann Crew. She was a former intelligence officer in the military. Once intelligence officer, forever you're an intelligence officer. Who knows what happened? We don't know the relationship. We're not going to make any accusations. All we know is, could this have been a protection where they were at the parties and they knew things that were taking place and are like, wait, what do you want to do to us? No problem. Boom, drop the bomb. I don't know. All I'm saying is the timing was kind of strange. Maybe even they wanted to kind of be like, look, we know what's about to be dropped on this guy. We want to have nothing to do with you. We're out. Here's some money. You stay quiet. We'll pay you, but we want to get out of here. The only thing at the time is kind of crazy is January 2024, they settled. 2 months later, remember what we're sitting there doing and minding our own business? And you hear, March of 2024, the feds are raiding Diddy's Miami home and his LA home. For what?
In court, the most damning testimony may have come from Cassie's former stylist, Deontay Nash. He recounted a night where he and Cassie were forced into hiding, terrified for their lives. On the stand, Nash detailed how Diddy repeatedly threatened Cassie with blackmail, promising to leak private tapes to her industry contacts if she defied him. This wasn't just abuse, it was psychological warfare. Nash made it clear, Diddy didn't just control Cassie physically, he owned her fear.
Victim number 2 is saying that she was blackmailed with freak-off videos just like Cassie Ventura. And I've seen a lot of people wondering, are the freak-off tapes going to be played in court for the jury to see? And yes, they actually are. The government is still fighting right now to make sure that these freak-off tapes, when they're played in court, are only going to be for the jury's eyes. They dropped some very interesting information today about these tapes and saying that victim number 2 has proof that she was allegedly blackmailed with these freak-off tapes. In this motion, the government is asking the judge to make sure that people from the press are not able to be in this courtroom when these freak-off videos are played because they are saying that they are blackmail and they are very explicit videos. Now, the government talked about how Cassie Ventura said that Diddy would record these videos on multiple different encounters and then tell her that he would release these tapes against her. And she found it humiliating and disgusting, and she wanted them deleted off the devices. Now the government is saying Diddy victim number 2, who is going by the pseudonym of Jane, will provide a similar testimony to that of Cassie Ventura's, stating that she did not want to participate in the freak-offs and that she was terrified of anyone seeing the recordings of her engaging in these activities. And the government expects to offer text messages that James sent to the defendant's chief of staff on December 28th of 2023. And the chief of staff at the time would be Christina Korn. And she stated, Diddy just threatened me about my tapes and that he has me on 2 phones. He said he would expose me and send them to another person. And then she proceeded to write another text message to Christina Korn. But right now this information is last hour and it looks pretty long compared to the last text message that they referenced. The government says that these text messages confirm James' views of the recordings of her encounters during the freak-off with the same level of honor as Cassie Ventura. And they are alleging that the defendant used those recordings to blackmail both victims who were and remain terrified of the release of those tapes.
Another bombshell came from Mia, Diddy's former assistant. Her voice trembled as she recounted how she, like Cassie, was blackmailed and sexually exploited by Diddy. The abuse, she said, was not isolated. It was systemic. The prosecution presented a handwritten note from Mia, dated November 2011. It listed her job responsibilities. Among them, protect him at all times and anticipate his needs, whims, and moods. It read more like a prison sentence than a job description. Now the walls are closing in. The tunnels, the missing evidence, the vanishing witnesses. It's all unraveling. And yet we've likely only seen a glimpse of what lies beneath the surface. Katt Williams tried to warn us. So now we have to ask, who else knew? Who else helped keep the truth buried? And will the system finally hold? The powerful accountable. This story is far from over. Drop your thoughts below. Is Diddy really the mastermind? Or just a pawn sacrificed by someone even more powerful? Make sure you're subscribed. The truth is coming, and they can't stop it.